Hello, it's me. I don't really, didn't really know what to do. You know what I mean? It's been that long since I got to actually sit and be happy in a video and talk about a positive result that sees us win a game of football. But I think it goes a little bit like this. Hello everyone, this is Season992 and today we're back with another brand new video and we're here to talk about Rangers scoring 2 goals, conceding 9, keeping that back door shot and reaching a semi-final. Did many people expect to see that tonight? Nah, I didn't think so. And you didn't need to just take my word for it, ladies and gentlemen. Did anybody see at half-time, you know what I mean, the players gone off at half-time sort of glancing around and looking dazed and confused? They were sitting this doesn't feel right, as they weren't getting booed after the part. There was actually some cheers and some claps and they were like, wait a minute, this isn't our walk-off song. But speaking of song, let's go ahead and talk about the laddie who made his return in the game of football then, shall we? And as a guy who's had his name sung week in, week out, game after game, despite not being deemed good enough to play in the Russell Martin Rangers team. And speak about a laddie who was told in our biggest domestic game of the season to sit on his couch and watch the game versus Celtic on his telly. Let's talk about his return now. He's allowed to train with the first team. Now he's allowed to paddle his feet in Loch Lomond, and when he's able to actually play football with his team. How did Nico respond? How did Nico reward those who sang his name time and time again and demanded a reinstatement of the Belgian internationals? Well, Nico Raskin went ahead and gave his best performance of the season as he ran the midfield, completely bossed every aspect of this game of football, and was clearly, and I mean clearly, the best player on the park, not only running the game but scoring and breaking the deadlock in the game of football. He was the one that also created the second goal in the game, a sponsors man of the match, the official man of the match. He was absolutely sensational, and what a moment for the little Belgian midfielder. And it just shows you, ladies and gentlemen, when you play the players player and player of the year in your starting 11, you actually get a bit of quality back into the squad, and our best player, surprisingly, was our best player. Now again, I'll hold my hands up. I don't know what's been happening behind the scenes. I'm not privy to that information. I don't know how him and Russell Martin have been clashing, or what they've been disagreeing, or what the arguments have been about. Has he been calling out Martin? Has he been unhappy with certain stuff? Maybe, ladies and gentlemen. But can I just tell you the truth to every single person that's currently watching today's video? See all of that stuff, I truthfully, with every fibre of my being, didn't care about it. All I care about is this football club and seeing this football club getting back to where it was when I was growing up, and that was being a successful team and being able to go ahead and win things and go ahead and bring that joy that's ingrained in to my membrane. That's where I want to go. And do you see how you get back to that? It's actually getting results on the park, and to get results, in my personal opinion, which is the hardest and most important thing in football, I think that comes in playing not only your current players player of the year and player of the year, but it's also playing your highest valued player and your best overall player, and I think that helps the football club. So I'm delighted he's back in there, and I'm delighted for him going ahead and helping us win this game of football, because I know people will say, oh, that means Russell Martin's in for another week, or Russell Martin's in for a wee while, and I understand the frustrations out there, and again, there is some major holes in the overall game of football, but I will never, no matter how much I dislike and disdain a manager, ever want us to lose a game of football, especially in a cup competition there. If we go ahead and lose there just to get rid of Russell Martin, that's another trophy that's potentially out of our reach, or out of our reach, I should say. That's all gone. So we'll live to fight another day in this cup competition, and again, that's down to the old feet and heed in Mr. Nico Raskin, who is again brilliant. Always hard to manage, or he's not the easiest to manage behind the scene. Do you think Barry Ferguson was easy to manage? Do you think some of your favourite players you've ever had in this football club was easy to manage? Now again, I'm not sitting here putting Raskin into the same level of talent or anything like that, no at all, but again, they were all guys that ruffled up some feathers, that demanded some things, that had some moments with previous managers. And again, the likes of Barry Ferguson's was well documented when he went eye to eye with a manager that he felt was not going to work out like that. There was a lot of friction. If you're on the younger side, Google Barry Ferguson and Paul Le Guen. You know what I mean? So this isn't the first time I've seen our best player in the starting 11 have a wee fallout with a manager. It usually happens when you've got somebody that wants to win and is driven to hopefully bring that success whilst everything else is falling away by the wayside, and he's stepping up, not just standing in the back and being like, yeah, this is crap, innit, but I'm not saying anything. Somebody that's demanding it to be better than that, I'll never have a problem with. And let's hope that's it all done and dusted out, and we didn't need to sit here and talk about Russell Martin versus Raskin, Raskin versus Russell Martin. Let's just put it all behind us and try and build a resemblance of a functioning football team for whatever time Martin's got left, but again, what we've got left of this season. And dare I say, more players challenging the mundane and the sleepless, lifeless performances and voicing their displeasure about that crap will be the benefit for this football club. The mere characters and personalities we have in there demanding success or demanding it to be better might help steer this ship back in the right direction. But Nico, absolutely sensational big man, and I'm absolutely delighted both him and Martin have grew up and decided to get things on with and put this club first. Let's never talk about it again. But I do want to talk about another decision Russell Martin did, because again, the Raskin stuff will dominate it. But another decision that Martin made in this game that, in my opinion, helped us win this match was let go of this idea of wasting gassama air on the right-hand side to force Mikey Moore on his left-hand side. Now, he still played Mikey Moore, and I imagine that loan contract's got a wee bit to say about that. But he actually switched it and played our biggest, brightest talent so far this season, not named Finlay Curtis, and threw the gas man back in his position where he was cooking earlier on in the season. And I thought that was a big help as well. And I thought his danger, I thought his directness, I thought his threat to the Hibs backline, which again isn't the greatest, was one of the main reasons we won this game and actually offered something going forward. So Martin got that one right as well, to bring in the gas man and put him back into his preferred position, as to say, as I thought he was great. And do you know what's mad? Now that I've actually said that out loud and I'm just thinking about it as I record today's video, I'm sitting here praising the fact that we are playing our best attacking left winger at left wing, and we're playing our best overall player but our best centre midfielder in the centre midfield. We're actually doing common sense and the most obvious things that should have been happening, but hey, it's mid-September and we're starting to date now, so hopefully that's a corner truly being turned, but we'll wait and see. That was it, sorry, from the individuals, because again, honestly, it wasn't the greatest game. I thought young Jaden at left back looked promising again. I think he's building with every game. I like him a lot. It's a shame he's not going to be here next frickin' season, but again, potentially next season, Derek Cornelius, I thought, stepped in and looked pretty damn good overall in the game. Still expecting a lot more of him, but I liked his physicality, and a couple of times he did get up there and throw his body on the line and didn't look like a turtle running in quicksand. You know what I mean? That was positive to me, but the overall game wasn't the greatest game of football, and if you stay with me over the next 10 minutes, we'll certainly break that down, as we only had one shot, I believe, in the second half. But again, I would say we almost played comfortably as we just controlled the overall outlet of a game, and it's not been that way all the time. You know what I mean? I know Hibs got a lot of praise, especially for myself, in terms of going forward, so to keep a clean sheet despite a handball VAR, don't worry, we'll get there. It's something that should be praised, and we were able to really go after what their weakest Achilles heel has been all season, and that is defensively, with the 2 goals that truly wrapped this game up and finished it and allowed us to maybe manage the second half. But again, I've not seen us manage anything so far. I dare say it's almost been managed less overall in the game of football, and you can only ever beat what's in front of you. So Hibs weren't at their best or anything like that. But you're talking about Rangers under Russell Martin, we're nowhere near our best, but we just won 2-0 and made it to a semi-final. So for me, I'll sleep with a smile on my face. But let's go ahead and get into this game recap then, shall we, and speak about a game of football that saw a lesser than capacity Ibrox and some protests before the game, protests during the games in terms of chucking the balls, and maybe ironically for this game of football, the Nico Raskin song getting sang the majority of the time, long before he started putting the ball in the back of net and running the show. I felt like a message was being sent to every single person that's willing to pay attention that the fans aren't happy with the way things go on, and there needs needs to be drastic changes. Now, unfortunately, in terms of the park, it didn't really spark a response of anything as the first 15 minutes. You could yawn and miss the majority of it. You could have genuinely fell asleep. The only thing really worth watching in the first 15 minutes was the Gasman versus Josh Mulligan, as that was actually a pretty damn good battle in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Seeing one win, then the other one win, and the other one win. A guy that should have been signed by this football club and one that we've probably missed out on. But again, overall, I thought that was at least an entertaining aspect of a Russell Martin game, and that's not been something we've talked about a hell of a lot. And then the 15th minute comes where Josh Mulligan picks the ball up and wins one of those little jokes, but not only does he beat the likes of the Gasman and run away for him, he runs by a couple Rangers midfielders, getting in to the final third where he plays a beautiful pass to Mr. Bowie, who runs away for Suter, who looks like he's towing a caravan. He goes beyond Butland, but Butland I think does well just to push him a wee bit to the left, and that means that he needs to lay off the ball to Mr. Martin Boyle, who balloons it over the bar and misses a golden opportunity for Rangers, which was a very, 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 very nice change compared to what he usually does when he plays that royal blue of this football club. So aye, we well and truly got away with that, but again, our clear problems persist. As soon as we lose out in that 1v1 duel, there's just so much space to run into regarding this setup and shaping. Mulligan broke it, brilliant ball to Bowie. Bowie sets up Boyle, but thankfully misses a chance. And the name Martin Boyle was once again cursed by every Rangers fan just several minutes later. And the way this goal unfolded, right, I know it eventually gets varred off, but I thought it's maybe the most Rangers goal ever. Do you remember the preview, how we talked about that into the six and then that one long ball to Martin Boyle who's going to run in behind the Rangers defence? It played it like that, and I honestly saw myself getting memed on Twitter. I was like, it's the exact same freaking way, but it's even worse to look at as the boy Cadden manages to somehow beat Tav and Asgard whilst his arse is touching the grass, and knowing a Gary Lineker type of way when he's trying to wipe the butt cheeks. He's playing on his jacksy and he somehow beats the two of them, slides a pass, one ball to Boyle who's burning away for Cornelius. I thought Cornelius was good today, but he's never got that recovery pace. He at least gets close to him and that nearly tightens the angle so Butland can get a stronger hand on it. But again, Butland gets a hand on it, spins in, it's into the back of it, and it's the Mace Rangers goal, and it's the Mace Martin Boyle goal. Why do we keep giving this guy 50 yards to sprint? And all he can do is run in a straight line. Why do we fall for it every single time? Oh, it's varred off for handball. Oh, fair play. And when I glanced up and I saw VAR checking handball, I went, oh, here we go, this is going to be interesting considering what just happened at the weekend and the verdict that came out that confirmed that they were wrong in awarding that goal for Mr. Shackler. So this is going to be really, really interesting. And then it was chopped off. Now, I'm going to say something that might annoy a lot of people. I think this one isn't half as bad, isn't half as blatant as the one that Lawrence Shanklin ended up getting regarding just at the weekend. But again, a handball is a handball. He throws his arm out it. Now, again, it's no way out here. It's not Shanklin. You know what I mean? Shanklin handballed it here to bring the ball down. The ball's coming in and Boyle just sort of smartly turns his body in it, brings it down, helps it get in there, and he puts it in to the back of net. But it was very, very funny. Dare I say, I don't think we're getting that if it wasn't such big news how much of a blunder they made at the weekend, because it's complete chalk and cheese how blatant one is compared to the other. But it's just weird, and it shows you how inconsistent these refs are despite the technology and the money that's getting ploughed in to the officiating side of this game. Is the weekend's one where Shanklin clearly brings it in is the handball, but when Boyle's hands at his side, that one is a handball. But again, handball is a handball. Both of them should have been done by the letter of the law, but it's just so weird that one is and one isn't. But again, I'm sure that'll be Rangers getting helped by the officials again. That'll be the narrative. Oh, look at that BS handball. Referees helping Rangers, despite what happened at the weekend. Now, if you're watching to this part of today's video and say you missed the game but you saw how happy I was and how much relief there was at the start of this video, you're probably expecting a comprehensive breakdown regarding chances and free flow and attacking football and playing really well, but it wasn't really like that. Goals truly changes games, and thankfully the goals fell in our favour. But you're talking about two chances in the first 20 minutes and both of them gone from the Hibs perspective. Again, we huffed and we puffed, but there was nothing blatant, there was nothing truly created. A couple of balls half-heartedly chucked into the box or hit at some knees, but that was really it until the moment came in which we scored a goal, and up steps the skipper with a brilliant in-swinging corner. on the second tee. And swingers is the way to go, lads. Brilliant delivery from the skipper, and Raskin does what he's done his entire Rangers career. Somehow, some way, despite the giants we've signed this summer, the one that stands above every other one is the 5'9" Belgian pitbull with a brilliant first post run, flicking it into the back of net that Mr. Saucy Joe Aribo would have been proud of a few years ago. It's brilliant, and I just laughed, and me and the missus just went, of course, it's him. And I was nervous because remember when I was so vocal and I really backed Hadji. I wanted Hadji to beat you. For 2 years I pretty much had a campaign and wanted to see Hadji back. Hadji came back and he assisted versus Hibs, and then like 5 minutes later he got sent off, and I was like, that's embarrassing. For me, I went, oh, here he's just scored there, didn't get sent off, Nico, didn't get sent off, but he's just a different level, and when he's really at it and when he's really tuned in, there's just nobody like him in our game, in my personal opinion, in terms of this Rangers team. He's just head and shoulders better than everybody, even the boys we've brought in this summer. And again, it was clear as day. The day is, I think if you take Nico out there, I think we could be looking at a much, much, much uglier game. But you put him in there and he was doing about as well as you could possibly do in the way we're currently playing and how low the confidence overall is in the group. But the best thing about wee Nico Raskin, he's not just a stat guy, or if he gets a goal and then he drops out the game, and then he pops up with another goal and then he drops out, or he goes and assists and then he fades away. He's involved in every aspect of the game, and he truly runs his pan in each and every single game, and that's the type of players that I really connect with, and that's the type of players I really, really like. And you've seen that not only with my favourite players of all time that we've talked about at length that I'll not go through, but even just recently on the channel over the last 5-6 years, who's the players I've really been invested in? The likes of Lunny for a short period, but the guys like Ryan Jack and everything like that, who isn't the fanciest player or anything like that, but that's someone that ate, slept and breathed this football club, that burst his pan and chased every blade of grass down week in and week in, game after game, no matter who we were against. And Nico's got that about him, and that's why I think I lean towards the guys. He plays the way that I really like, and he was involved in stopping counter-attacks, he was getting on the ball, he was busting by a couple of people. If you keep watching, we'll talk about some of the chances he created. But before we get to the second half, let's talk about the rest. The first half is the creation of Mr. Nico Raskin after breaking up several counter-attacks, finds himself at the right winger spot, and he just gets on the ball, sees Mikey Moore making a run, chips a wonderful ball into Mikey, who, to be fair to him, does everything right, hits out a half volley, keeps it low, it hits off, I think it's Rocky Bashiri, ends up doing a brilliant slide challenge, but it ends up spinning in for a tap-in by Mr. Bojan Mioski. But again, ladies and gentlemen, for me, that guy deserves that goal, as he's been chasing shadows and chasing every blade of grass as well from the striking position, feeding off little to no service at all, as there's been 15-20 yards, and he's been doing the press, he's been doing the doggy. So to get a tap-in like that is certainly very welcome for Mr. Bojan. But at the exact same time, just seeing a centre forward on his toes at the right place, no standing away here. Do you remember how many times the ball came into the box and we had centre forwards like Dessers and Danilo aware here? No, he's actually in there, waiting, gambling that someone's going to fight him. And he just taps it away, and the ugliest goals, or the ugly goals, are sometimes the best goals, and it was for this one, is in my personal opinion, it wrapped the game up right frickin' there and killed any momentum for the Hibs fans, who were very vocal during the first 15 minutes expecting something. But this Rangers team tuned in for about 6 minutes in the first half and showed there's clear levels to this game, and again, I'm thankful for it. Now, in typical Rangers fashion, we did offer them the opportunities and a couple sniffs at coming back into the game. First one, Chris Cadden, man, what a crosser. The football, he really reminds me of Barisic, and I mean that in the best compliment. Tell me, what a left foot. Oh, every time I see a cross, I'm going, nobody want to close them down? Nah, nobody? Alright, let's just leave the best crosser of the ball 30 yards to cross it. I like it, Russell. But again, wonderful cross into the mix on Martin Boyle's goal to score, but again, headers it just wide. But that was really it for the first half. There's been a VAR for a handball. We've scored 2 goals, and somehow, some way, we find ourselves getting cheered off at half time. That again had every single Rangers player looking around, be like, oh, this is what it could be like if we started to tune in, man. Into the second half, again, it was a bit laboured. Again, it was a bit too slow. But again, I think considering how wounded we are right now and how poor we are right now, there certainly was a handbrake pulled up to be like, we've got a 2-0 advantage here. We are playing certainly against the odds of what a lot of people were expecting for this game of football. Let's just see ourselves in the line. Let's just get across the line and make sure we didn't throw this away. And that was the majority of the second half, if I'm honest with you. There was large spells where we just had the ball and hard the ball. But it's better to do that when you've got 2-0 rather when you're chasing a game of football. And again, there was a couple moments Raskin does brilliantly to burst away for a couple players. Powerful, direct, runs beyond free, slides it to the Gassman who cuts inside, who hits a wonderful shot that ends up rattling the bar, and then from that exact moment it hits the bar and goes out from a throw. Hibs tried to set us up for a third goal as they pass the ball straight to the Gassman who plays it to Bojan. Bojan curls it beyond the goalkeeper, but it's absolutely brilliant defending from Grant Hanley. Something I've not seen very often in my entire life, by the way, but give credit where credit's due. That's an outrageous block on the old line for the old timer. Now, as you can imagine from the way that we've explained today's video, there's not too many other highlights to talk about. You had an embarrassing dive by Martin Boyle around about the 57th minute where Tav's really silly, gives a foul away, Cadden brilliant ball into the mixer, and Suter for whatever reason, thank God this never turned into something, because I wouldn't even want to be me ranting to that, because instead of headering the ball out, he does it towards his 6-yard box and actually headers it to Boyle. I'm going, see, got him on a bet or something like that. But Boyle, instead of maybe headering it or volleying it or trying to bring it down, just dives really, really embarrassingly, and that will not get any media coverage because he does it every week. But did you see the likes of Bowie's reaction to it, just picking him up? He was almost mortified for Boyle. It's weird because he's such a, I mean, he is certainly a tunnel vision style player of what he can do, but there is talent there, but he just ruins it all with his stupid dives all the time. Then, a couple of minutes later, from another set piece, we truly are set piece FC, we put the ball in the mixer, Bojan scores another goal, but it's correctly ruled out for offside. Again, no problem when things are done correctly in terms of the officiating. The likes of Connor Barron comes in, the likes of Chermeti ends up coming in, and the big man has a major opportunity to really kill the game off and make it 3-0. Wonderful ball for Connor Barron in behind, breaking the line right through. Chermeti, I was impressed with his pace, you know what I mean? He's getting chased in, but he's perfect. I'm going, oh, go stick this in, big. Go stick this in. This is what I need to start celebrating the money we'll spend on this guy. But our new number 9 runs brilliantly and then just hits his 1v1 straight at the goalkeeper, and I go, oh. Mere crosses for Cadden, mere clearances for Cornelius, and then late on in the game of football, Ant-Man decides to remember how to play football as he nutmegs 2 people, runs away for another unit and curls 1 just wide. So there was potential moments for us adding to the scoreline, absolutely, but again, it wasn't the greatest game of football by any means, but considering where we are, where the conference is, it's probably as good as it's going to get, especially with what we were fearing coming in to this game of football. So we live to fight another day. Martin certainly does anyway, and we've reached a semi-final. Again, I know a lot of people aren't going to be overall happy with maybe no being able to sack Martin on the old Monday, but we won a game of football, we've reached a semi-final, and hopefully, just hopefully, we can go on a run now and get a wee bit of confidence to start winning games. But again, I imagine we'll get much tougher test than playing the likes of Hibernian, who again defensively have been rank rotten this season, and I mean rank rotten. Again, we'll see how we get on, and that's in terms of the European lights, where we face a bit of a tougher opposition and a tougher test both offensively and defensively. More on that on Wednesday. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'll finish up the video there. Let me know how you're feeling about that one. The guy that was dropped from the starting 11 that potentially could have cost Russell Martin his job has been brought back in to the starting 11 and possibly saved it for a little bit longer. That's some crazy irony right there, if I'm honest. But let me know how you're feeling down in the old comment section below. And as always, shout out the legends that are signed up to the channel Legend memberships, and to everyone that's signed up support range. Thank you all so much. And to each and every single person, I will see you on Wednesday. And trust me, we'll have a lot to talk about. I've already started looking on. They're decent, this lot. But until Wednesday, I've been Sieging over 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. Enjoy your weekend, man. Go and smile them more. Go and have fun. Take the weight off, the pressure in there. I'll see you in the next one. All the best, and bye-bye.